Thank you, Sister Michael and Sister Childs, for assisting her with that. You did a nice job, too, in presenting that information, doing it in a nice, logical order. I also appreciated the interest that you shown in your household here. Not only did it come across in your tone of voice, but you took the time to consider your listener's viewpoint when she asked you about the rapture and that. I don't believe in that stuff. But you took her feelings into consideration. And our benefit publication, it brings out on page 186, it says that one way that we can imitate the love shown by Jehovah, and it can enable us to reach a person's heart, is by showing interest. And we do that by listening to their viewpoint and listening attentively to what they have to say. We can actually show honor to them in this way, and it gives evidence that we value them. So nicely done. Our final student speaker this evening will be Nicholas Childs. Nick did some research for us based on Matthew chapter 6, verse 33, and 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. His theme is why putting material security ahead of spiritual pursuits leads to disaster. Brother Childs.
In this world, material security is hard to come by. The economy is bad, jobs are hard to find, and money always seems to be tight. With that being said, I have a question to ask you. Would you leave the truth for a lifetime supply of food? Okay, well, how about would you leave the truth for a brand new well-constructed home? How about a bank account with an endless amount of money in it? No, of course not, you might say. But are your actions in agreement with you? We need a lot of things to stay secure in these times, material as well as spiritual. We need food, water, clothing, shelter, and other things to maintain a solid lifestyle. We also need spiritual food, association, and involvement in the field ministry to remain secure in the congregation. However, one of these things must come first, so we need to decide which one is more important to us. In the Bible, Jesus gave an example of a man who came across a fork in the road where he needed to decide which was more important to him. At Luke chapter 18, we see a ruler approach Jesus asking how he would gain everlasting life. Jesus told the man that he was to carry out the commandments given by God, which the man assured Jesus he had done. However, Jesus noticed one thing this man was lacking. Let's find out what that was and go to Luke chapter 18, in verse 22 through 25. That's Luke 18, 22 through 25. And it says, after hearing that, Jesus said to him, there is yet one thing lacking about you. Sell all the things you have and distribute to poor people, and you'll have treasure in the heavens, and come, be my follower. When he heard this, he became deeply grieved, for he was very rich. Jesus looked at him and said, how difficult a thing it will be for those having money to make their way into the kingdom of God. It is easier, in fact, for a camel to get through the eye of a sewing needle than for a rich man to get into the kingdom of God. Imagine how difficult it would be for a camel to fit through this needle's eye. Yet Jesus said it would be easier for a camel to fit through this needle's eye than for a rich man to inherit God's kingdom. What a powerful statement. And as we see, this man was far too wrapped up in his material possessions to follow Jesus. Now let's turn our Bibles to 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. That's 1 Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. And it says, For the love of money is the root of all sorts of injurious things. And by reaching out for this love, some have been led astray from the faith and have stabbed themselves all over with many pains. Would you purposely go out and injure yourself? No, of course not. So if money is the root of all injurious things, why would you pursue it? But you may be telling yourself that despite all the traps of money, it's still something that we need, and that's true. But let's look at Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33 and see what that tells us. That's Matthew chapter 6 and verse 33. And that says, "Keep on then seeking first the kingdom and his righteousness, and all these other things will be added to you." Now we are told to seek first the kingdom, and then what? And then all these other things will be added to you. Do you find yourself thinking it may be okay to miss maybe 1 or 2 meetings just to make a little extra money because these times it may help? We saw a demonstration at our recent convention of a family thinking of working overseas to bring in a little more money for times that they were in. But they wisely listened to the counsel of a congregation elder who went through a similar situation. You see, when we put Jehovah first, he sees to it that we are taken care of, spiritually as well as materially. A great example of this was the wise King Solomon. When Jehovah asked him what he wanted, he did not ask for riches. Rather, he asked for wisdom. And Jehovah not only gave him that wisdom, but many riches as well. And we still see examples of that today. Brothers and sisters not showing up to their jobs just to attend assemblies and conventions. What's the result? They are sometimes fired only to come home to find a better paying job and a happier life. All this for putting spiritual and material things in their proper places. In the future, money will get us nowhere. At Ezekiel 7:19, it says that into the streets they will throw their very silver. It's evident that no sort of money or riches will do us any good as this system's end winds down. Now, back to what you said in the beginning of our talk. You said that you wouldn't leave the truth for any amount of riches or material security. But after thinking about what we've discussed, do your actions back up your claim?
Thank you, Brother Childs. You did a nice job in presenting that information as well, and really kind of captured our attention in what you said from the very beginning. You know, in our benefit publication, it makes this comment on page 215 in one of the boxes. It says, in your opening sentences, say something pertinent that will get the attention of your audience and that will directly contribute to achieving your objective. So that means that our introductions is real crucial to in any talk. We need to arouse the interest of our audience, and then they'll be more inclined to listen to what we have to say. And you did a nice job in doing that. You talked about the things of the system, the things that we need to have some sort of security. And then you asked some thought-provoking questions to get us involved in your information. And of course, that account you read there in Luke really kind of drove home the point. So good preparation, nice introduction. Did you appreciate the efforts of our students this evening?